and then you're like, let's turn on the radio.
And you die more.
And there's like, I don't know, like it's on Caleb. And there's just some like contemporary Christian songs. And you're like, this is terrible, I want to die. Some songs like can give you that feeling, you know what I mean? A little bit, but it's not something
it's
that
just like songs you don't like that make your situation worse.
Right, but like even songs that like can have. Like I haven't recognized
when it's the wrong time.
Yeah. And it's not defined, it can be in any genre somehow.
So it's not necessarily a specific song that you can play and say that it's headache.
Well, yeah.
That it's headachy music, but like in the situation where you're like.
Well, it depends mostly on the situation, but also I can identify headachy. What's the word? Headachy attributes or characteristics.
Yes.
I think maybe it's just kind of synonymous with annoying, and depending on whether or not I can bear it, because I do have a very good threshold for annoying music. I can bear a lot of it, but depending on the situation, yeah. So that's headachy music, I guess.
So Caleb is headachy music?
Mostly, yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's interesting because my family would strongly disagree, to say the least.
Okay, but the thing is, Caleb switched stations now.
They did, yeah.
I didn't realize that until maybe a month ago.
Well, that's weird. It's because the channel that's now on 94.3, which was Caleb, it's now Air 1, which is owned by the same people that own Caleb, and it generally plays the same music.
Yeah. So what's up with it? I think it's more upbeat and not like they took out the traditional Chris Tomlin and like old people. And it's more like the hip new people.
That is true.
Which can be equally headachy for me.
It can be.
Just saying.
It can be. I feel like Toby Mac, I like his music for like 3 plays.
Sure.
And then beyond that, it gets headachy for me.
Yeah.
Like I have to actively tell myself I like it.
Yeah.
Beyond 3.
As I said, my family would strongly disagree.
Yeah, I still listen to it.
Mostly,
I only listen to Caleb in my car because I hate other music.
I really want to like Christian music. I don't know what it is though. I can't get into it.
What are the songs you sing at your church?
You know, the church songs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't have to sing those because you play the drums.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I feel like even if you can sing it, like when you're playing drums or playing guitar or whatever, you get a free pass because you're playing an instrument. You don't have... So, I mean, if you're playing French horn, you literally cannot sing.
Do you think there's someone out there who can sing and play the French horn at the same time?
No, it's...
Like, they got it, like, the French horn's, like, on half their mouth, and there's, like, a mic here. It's like a ventriloquy thing.
I feel like that'd be mostly, like,
Probably.
You are right, Hayley. That would basically just be spitting.
But would you not pay to see that?
I would not pay to see that.
I would.
Oh my goodness, I can just just imagining it. I'm just like.
Need to get.
Yeah, is it? I feel like that's not gonna pick up our voice.
I don't know.
Maybe it will.
Come on, Jeff, you're the
It
technician.
worked last time.
It did work last time.
Jeff, you're the
It was also
producer
in
of
an
the show.
echoey room. Like, we're just gonna pray that we get all the vocal stuff.
I think it'd be vocal, right?
Like smoke stuff.
You're the music guy.
Well, vocal implies like, I don't know. Vocal's probably the right word.
Vocal implies a voice.
No, I think it generally like implies like singing, right? Like
Yeah.
the vocal.
Okay, well, yeah, like vocal music, that's music you sing. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
Vocation.
But you sing with your voice, so...
Yeah. Oh, here's something. Okay, so you know, like, you say, like, I want to show you this to someone when you want them to see it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there's no word for, like, I want you to hear this. I want to have you...
I want you to listen to this.
No, but there's no, like, one word for it. Like, show is, like, the verb.
Listen, it's the verb.
I want you I want to see. It's I want to show you. I want to listen. There's like, because I say it a lot, and there's just no way to say it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Huh.
I should put it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But usually I just default to, here, I'll show you the song.
Yeah,
Or-
but you're not showing because
You're
it's
not.
like,
Yeah.
Music
Because-
videos, then you are.
well, who watches
But
music
like
videos?
sometimes you should watch music videos.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes you don't want to go there. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
music video for a song I like. Oh,
Ooh.
didn't want it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what. What?
I just can't exist knowing that I'm being recorded. You know what I mean? Last time was
Yeah.
good because you just subtly turned it on, but now it's like,
Yeah. That's
Now it's weird because
so. Here's what I want to know.
Hmm.
So is there a difference? So like, for me, there's a difference. I don't know why, but I feel differently about Christian music when I'm in church versus when I'm in the car.
yeah,
Like in the car, I have to like tell myself, okay, I'm praising Jesus right now.
yeah.
But like, I don't know, it's just different.
I know how to explain this. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah, you're.
Okay. Let me see. Because it just feels more genuine in church. Because it's like part of the experience.
That's your goal.
Yeah.
Like, you're there to worship.
Part of my problem with like contemporary Christian music is just so like polished, right?
Yeah, like they're
Like-
trying too hard.
Yeah, they're trying too hard to make it
Yeah.
like appeal. When if they just kept it more like traditional,
Genuine
like
from the
real,
soul.
yeah, real sounding,
Mm-hmm.
then it'd actually be good. Like
Hmm.
I don't know, like Toby's Mac music just sounds so like polished and like studio.
artificial.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Which
Yeah.
isn't, I guess, isn't necessarily bad, but for some reason they've just never been able to make it work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I think what's it, like Elevation Worship or something. Like, I really like them because it's literally the songs that they sing in church, just like on the radio. So like I appreciate that.
It's like they're in church and they just record it while they're singing it.
pretty much.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's not the live feel.
Right.
You know how like when something
There's a
like
live
is
feel,
live,
yeah.
yeah, and you like hear the background. It's kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's different.
Mm.
But yes, they basically just record it in church.
What about Christian rap? How do you guys feel about that?
I appreciate Christian rap when it's not trying too hard.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So
It was-
basically, to have good Christian music, you can't try.
Yes.
well, you do,
But
well,
I don't
they're
know.
not. You can't try. They're trying too hard. Okay, Christian rappers try way too hard to be like the Christian version of other rappers when they should just do their
just do
own
you.
thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it seems so like when it's like you're bound by like the genre of like Christian, like you gotta be Christian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It tends to seem so like sterile and not real. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Ooh, I know. So people are trying really hard. It's like rappers, for instance. They're trying to be a Christian rapper, whereas if you were just a rapper, part of your identity as a person is that you're a Christian.
Exactly.
So if you're just rapping as a rapper, Christ just comes out because
Exactly.
it's who you are. It's
See,
like
yeah,
part
yeah.
of your identity.
But yeah, so when you're like a Christian rapper, like it's like they always approach it from like the same perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just rap about yourself as a
In your
person,
life, like
yeah.
Christ comes
it's
in.
like your life, but also
Yeah.
it has the same message.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'll take your word for it because
Yeah.
I don't listen to rap
think-
at all of any
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think it's, but the same goes for any genre of Christian music. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem with all Christian music. It's like trying to be the Christian version of regular music when it
Yeah.
should just be music.
Just be music.
Yeah.
And Christ will flow through.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was an important topic. I'm glad this is straightened out.
I've actually thought about this a lot.
Yeah, me
Like way
too.
too much.
Yeah.
It's one of those hypothetical conversations that you make up in your brain that you think is never gonna happen.
Yeah.
then it
And
happens.
it happens. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. That happens a lot in the shower.
a.m., like, my brain just starts monologuing, like,
Yeah.
it won't stop.
Yeah. And you like think of certain like conversations that you would have, but you can only have those conversations with certain people in your head. So
Yeah.
like, I just like imagine people responding, but there's just a certain way that they would respond that I think other people would.
See,
I don't know.
even telling, like, so I told you about my brain monologuing at 3 a.m.
Yes.
That's one of the conversations that my brain talks about at 3 a.m. So it gets super, like,
Yes.
meta and, like, weird.
So you're having a conversation with yourself about having a conversation with Hayley about a conversation that you had with yourself.
Exactly,
Yes.
yeah. It gets really, like,
Yeah.
and I can't stop it, you know?
See, for me, I think I used to I used to talk to myself when I was little. Like I had like a bunch of imaginary friends, which sounds like a disorder, but like it's really just.
No, I feel a lot of kids
We
have
should title
imaginary
this
friends.
podcast Hayley's Road to Discovering Her Insanity. That's what's happening. Every podcast that happens, like.
Haley's road to therapy.
Hayley discovers that
She's lying on the couch.
But yeah, so I used to have like a bunch of imaginary friends when I was little, and I would like tell them things and like have these inner monologues. But then I started to realize that was weird and no one else did that, or at least no one else like admitted.
Well, because
that
everyone
they
else
did
thought
that.
it was weird and didn't want to talk about it.
Exactly. So then I like started transitioning to just talking to myself instead of my friends.
Yeah, I never had imaginary friends. It was always just. Did they have names?
It
Yes.
would be like actual people from like movies or something. It's like Blue's Clues. What are
Steve and
names?
Joe.
Steve and Joe? Yeah,
Well,
they were
it
my
was
imaginary
Steve, but
friends
then-
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know too much. But so what happened was, I believe it was.
You know too much.
You
I'm
got
about
that Blue's
Blue's
Clues
Clues.
war?
So what happened was, Steve was doing it, but then the production stuff changed and all, so they were replacing him with Joe. So what happened was, it was actually Steve went off to college.
Alright.
What? He's too old to go to college. Does that mean he was a teenager when he was recording it?
Well, no, he didn't actually go to college. It was like in the show, right?
Right, in the show.
Oh,
He's like, I'm going off to college. Kids. See you
Because
later.
it's like, well, why is
They
it
had to get
suddenly
rid of
Joe now instead
Yeah.
of Steve? It's like, Steve's going off to college, he got Joe, who somehow looks a lot like Steve,
Yeah.
and to take his place. The style also kind of changed, and I believe the main difference was that Steve basically always wears a green shirt, but Joe wears shirts of different color.
Did he?
I
He
think
changed his
so.
color?
What?
He changed his color?
Well, the color of
Maybe
the
he
shirt,
had
yeah.
two colors. I think because I feel like
It looks like.
he wore
I
red.
like that. He's got all these sweaters. Well, but also like he's got some purple.
Yeah,
some
he got
orange.
the orange.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. Okay.
What actually are we doing?
Well, okay, now look up Steve, and if I remember correctly,
Steve is always green.
right, it should be Steve that's always green.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, yeah.
always green.
Is that him? Is this a random bald guy?
Oh.
Right. And he went to college, so he got replaced by Joe.
Wait, how does that work? Because this is obviously a green screen, right? So how is this shirt green?
True.
Or it's probably
But
blue
the
screen.
chair is real. I know that, because you would sit in the chair.
It's
It could
well,
be a
it's
blue
a
screen.
screen, but then they have an actual chair that they use when he has to sit in it.
Right. Yeah. Or well, like this.
See,
Yeah.
in the
So
chair.
the back. I don't think the backrest is real though.
Yeah.
That, no, that.
So it's probably a blue screen then. Because that's
Maybe.
real, right?
I think so.
Well, yeah, that
Well, wait. Then how does Blue's Clues?
Blue Screws
Or
is
what's the
not
dog name?
real.
Blue.
No, I know this. Is
Blue isn't real, so he's part of the
I know
green
that's-
screen. The blue screen.
I know this.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so Steve and Joe were my imaginary friends as a child. And it was just random people from school who I would talk to.
In your mind.
In
right?
my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, whose lunchbox is that?
Mine.
Okay.
Okay, JD.
Huh?
Is-
I'm saying it's fine, JD. You're hungry.
JD.
You know it. You're host.
All right. What were
Yeah.
you saying?
So you have these imaginary friends that are from your school, except you're talking to them in your head.
Yeah. It's like I would imagine what their responses would be to my crazy hypothesis.
Would they be like in character always? Like this friend who has this
feel like
personality
maybe,
would always be responding like that, or
Like, if I were to have an inner monologue about music, I would talk to Henry. In my mind.
Wait, you still do this?
well, you're the one talking to
No,
Hayley in your
like,
mind,
I
but
do-
you're
I do it just
stuff in
like-
your mind.
Yeah, if I'm,
So
if
that's
I'm
in
like
your
super bored, yeah.
All right.
Or like when my mind travels, yeah.
In your hypothetical
Have I
question.
talked to you in my mind? Yes.
All right. What did you say to me in these hypothetical conversations?
What if you're both doing it at the same time and you were actually talking to each other?
No.
That's really scary. I don't know what I was.
Well, Henry, what were you talking to Hayley about?
Yeah, do you remember? Or have you talked to me?
I don't remember specifically. No, I got nothing. What about you? You do this, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I don't want to generally talk about like the other people or anything. I just debate myself in my head a lot.
Mm.
Mhm.
You debate yourself?
Well, yeah. It's basically. I don't know how do you explain it. It's like basically I decide to become both people.
Mhm. Yes. See, that's the thing. These people in my head are just like my version of these people.
Mm.
Well, for me, it's both myself on both sides of the argument.
So it's just Jeff just like splits into two people.
That's probably the best way of describing it. Yeah, actually.
What if we're living in a simulation and the real life people are actually still just your versions of these people because you're just imagining everything?
I haven't thought about that.
See, because like there's all this talk about like the whole like simulation, like oh we're probably living in a simulation. If you actually are, then like my entire world like is all things I imagined. So like Donald Trump becoming president, like I imagined that. Like this is my world. Like just think about that.
But you imagine Donald Trump becoming
No. But I'm
president?
just saying like if this was a simulation, that would come from my mind. Like
Yeah,
that
but-
would be my.
But
You know
I
what
just
I mean?
can't get that. Why would you imagine that Donald Trump become
I
president?
don't know.
Well,
Why don't you just like imagine
sometimes you
that there's a
just
huge
imagine-
upset in both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump end up dead, and
It's like
there's
it's a
some
subconscious thing.
third party candidate
No, it's like,
that's
like if during the election, you just imagine like what life would be like if either one won. I don't know.
So
It's
this is just like your brain exploring that possibility.
that makes sense.
So it's like a dream.
So basically, all this comes down to is humans have good imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it borders on a mental disorder. I feel like, and I've actually like been concerned for myself, where I've like researched it. Like, is this a problem that I talk to myself? And, like, according to the internet, as long as you know that it's not real, it's okay.
Do you know that it's not real? You sure this is real right now? Is this real? So,
Going back to those worldview questions from last year, what is prime reality and what is really real? Okay, I don't, is that still in the handbook? Let's see.
you gonna get that out? You gonna pull out the greenhouse handbook now?
Yep.
What's the last page?
Well, she redid it, so it
Oh.
might not be.
This is the updated version.
Wait, hold on. Second to last page now. Because we got Xenia after it. Alright, so what is prime reality and what is really real? Yep, that one.
God, Earth, and my friends in my head.
You sure your friends are real? Sure about that?
You sure you're real?
Alright, and
I
here's
don't know
another
that.
good one. Why is it possible to know anything at all?
We'll have to ask Dr. Piper about that one. 'Cause I
Well,
mean,
and that goes back to the one in the simulation.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's other questions, but they're not as
What's
applicable.
the original topic?
What?
Synesthesia.
No, that was last episode.
This episode, we're just talking
I
about
don't
music
know how
generally.
I feel about this. That this is actually becoming real.
Well, so basically how we got here, so you're talking about music, and then Henry's talking about how he's talking to you in his mind about music. So then we got on the topic
No,
of talking about people. And,
That's not how it happened.
Me. That was me. I would talk to Henry about music.
no, I'm pretty sure we started this Henry talking to you in his mind first. I don't know.
I don't know. There's some.
You opened the topic of the mind.
I
And
opened
I
the
took it.
It sounds so deep when you say it like that.
Okay, is that carrots and hummus?
It's like really good hummus,
Hummus
too.
is really good. Hummus is underrated. Hummus is the most underrated dip.
Okay, so now I have
I
some
agree.
very sad news to tell you.
You want to try it?
Hummus is great,
It's like
yes.
burgers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I agree, hummus is great, but it always
Mm.
upsets my stomach when I have it.
It's like
That's good.
solid. It's really good. You want to try it?
No! Did he not listen to me? It's on recording, I said it.
I was supposed to be tasting the hummus. I was not listening.
No. See, whenever I have hummus, my stomach gets upset.
Oh no.
But the hummus is really good, and I'll acknowledge that, so I'd
Yeah.
want to have hummus, but
Whenever I have coffee, my stomach gets upset.
yeah, well,
That
coffee
happens to my
isn't
husband,
good,
too.
so
Maybe because it's so acidic.
There's something.
Actually, I'm
dangerous
probably
to it.
right.
It's not just like for a minute. It's like I just feel like garbage for the rest of the day. Like, hey, this is fine.
maybe it's telling you not to drink coffee.
Yeah, so I don't drink coffee anymore.
Does that mean you
But
did
yeah,
drink coffee?
hummus is solid.
It's good. Most
Subs from
underrated
Trader
dip.
Joe's.
What's the most overrated dip?
Ranch.
Ranch. Well, it's ranch really. Yeah. Yeah, it's a dip.
Oh, yeah.
But like ranch,
Ranch is
the only reason ranch is good is because they have chemicals that are chemically engineered to trick your brain into thinking that it's good.
It's really lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Ranch is.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great metaphor.
Thank you. I thought it was good too. I was like, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like ranch, because whenever I have ranch, I feel like I'm being gypped. Not gypped, but like played. Because of all the science that's gone into making ranch, like making it an addictive substance.
Making ranch.
Yeah.
Ranch.
That whenever I taste ranch, I'm like, man, this is good. No, this is the system making me think it's good.
That's what they want me to think. They
See,
want me to think the ranch is good.
But it's the same thing with like chips and like other junk foods. Like it's literally chemically engineered to make you love it.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, even I think for like fruit, right? Because they bend bread like
Yeah.
the right way to make them sweeter and stuff.
Well, like,
right?
Yeah,
the best
yeah,
example
yeah.
is corn and bananas.
Yes. It's like all fruit. It's
And like
GMO.
apples, supposedly.
Oh yeah.
Apples.
Well, you can do it without GMO even better. Probably
Like
use
just
GMO.
like breeding them.
Well, no, selective breeding, yeah.
Yeah.
Selective breeding isn't GMO.
No, but
No, it's completely different.
but there's probably still GMO.
Oh, yeah, generally there's.
GMO is just like the quick and easy way.
Yeah.
Whereas
Probably.
selective breeding takes a while, but like it's better for you. I don't know.
Sounds about right. Like I don't know for a fact that that's true, but I believe it.
Do you ever like look at? Why my brain went there? But do you ever like look at packages? And you know how it says like GMO free and like vegan and gluten free and all those like
Kosher.
things. Yeah, kosher, and you're just like, man, I feel really good about eating this.
No.
The more labels it has on the front. Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
See,
Like,
but then they go up to milk and they leave like gluten free. I'm like, that's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, just because for people like you, it makes them feel better about having it. It's like gluten-free milk. I'll go with
some
that.
people are like,
But that's how I imagine other people feel about it. I don't necessarily feel that way. I know it's the system.
I do it. Hayley is so woke. It's the system trying to get me to like ranch.
Because my dad's preached to me about the system well, my whole life.
Maybe your dad is the system.
Then why would he want to be stopping the system?
Because he's competing with ranch companies.
But
It's all a simulation.
who would win, a chiropractor?
Did you continue to bite that while you were laughing?
Alright, but who would win, a chiropractor or ranch dressing?
I gotta go with the ranch on this one, you know what I mean?
Sorry, Hayley.
Genetically engineered. Are chiropractors genetically engineered? I don't think so.
Okay, that's actually a really good quote, though. Are chiropractors genetically engineered? I don't think so.
What actually are we doing here? I have like so much homework to do.
I'm just waiting for my parents to come pick me up.
When?
Basically. Whenever they do. Probably around 1:30.
I'm just staying because I enjoy this.
I'm just saying.
well, my parents are gonna pick me up at 3. So.
That's earlier than last time.
Wait, 3?
3, yeah. 3 o'clock. So.
Well.
I'm stuck here, boy.
Yeah. I don't know. But I generally try to make sure that, well, because I have the schedule and I'm using the schedule.
Okay, I failed my schedule this week, guys.
Oh, you're actually trying to follow it?
You're not?
I just can't. Like the schedule I wrote out, it was. Maybe I shouldn't say this or maybe.
Pause. You don't have to pause it. It's
No,
okay.
it's good. Just keep going.
Yeah.
It's all just bogus. Like I don't actually. I'll wake up at 6 o'clock, but you know what I mean.
You put it at
No,
6 o'clock.
No, I'm done. That's hyperbole. But like, it's all different. Like I might wake up before it says or after. Like,
Yeah,
like
I see.
I'm not gonna try to follow this now.
What time do you wake up? Do you
It's all
do
different.
alarms or no?
Yes.
My dad is my alarm.
Okay, you wanna
wake up punk?
know what's really annoying? So I share.
Wait, is this still recording?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So I share a room with Ben, Elizabeth, and David. And at least Ben and sometimes David, they'll put on alarms for like unreasonably early in the morning. Like well, for a while Ben had one at 7:45, which isn't actually that early.
At 7:45?
Yeah, that's not too early though. I forget. I don't remember. They'll set alarms. They will never wake up with their alarm. They never wake
So
up.
they just turn it off and go back to bed?
No, they don't even turn it off. They just sleep right through it.
That annoys me so much.
But see, here's the thing. I don't sleep through it. Whenever their alarm goes off, I wake up.
And then you have to wake them up, turn off the alarm, and go back to bed.
No, I just am like, I just sit there wondering, why does this happen to me? Why do I always wake up whenever there's an alarm going off? And sometimes I will.
And yet you never fix the problem.
No, I don't. So in my sense, in that regard, it is my fault. But I think the reason part of the reason I don't, it's just like, well, if I'm gonna have to suffer through it, I'll just let you suffer through it too, even though it means nothing because they're asleep. Well, also, and this is actually, this is more of the problem, I guess. But whenever someone in my family has to go somewhere like really early, like get up at like 5 or 6 or whatever, which is much earlier than I normally get up. Mom will come in to wake them up because even if they set an alarm, they sleep through it. And I'll wake up because I hear Mom coming into the room. And so then I'm up at 5 or 6 or whatever, and I don't need to be.
But can you go back to sleep, or can you not go back to sleep once you wake up?
I generally can go back to sleep though, so it's not that big of an issue.
But
But-
you just don't.
It's still annoying.
No, I generally do. But all the same, I'm waking up at 5 or 6 in the middle of the night. And I generally don't wake up in the middle of the night, so it's just annoying.
Yeah.
How do I classify? Okay, when's the dividing marker between at night or in the morning?
Oh. What do you mean?
So you're saying that you never
But
go
like-
to,
but like
you always
have
go to bed
said
in the
5
morning?
At night.
You mean like not technically, just like. Oh, well,
but
if it's
also
5 in
tech-
the
but
morning,
also
no.
tech-
It's
So
8
wait,
a.m.
Henry,
2
you're
a.m.
saying you generally go to bed in the morning because you go to bed after 12?
I don't go bed after 12. Why does everyone do this?
Well, I don't know,
I do it,
maybe
like,
because you
once a
said
week,
that you were
maybe.
talking to yourself
Only once
in
a
your
week.
head at 3 a.m. in the morning.
That's like
But-
once a week. Okay.
Okay,
Why?
so I feel like at around 1, I'd say it becomes in the morning. Then, like, back at 4 to 5, like, 2 and 3 a.m. it's in the morning, but 4 and 5 it goes back to at night. And then, like, 6 onwards it goes back to being in the morning.
What are you talking about? This,
I don't know.
none of that
I
is
was saying
true.
really weird.
It makes no sense. Not only do I disagree, I have no idea what you're saying.
This is Jeff's brain now.
Around Jeff's brain? I don't think we're gonna go there. Are we?
No.
So.
Yes, that's text message.
It's
good, I'm gonna
Why
take
is
one.
it orange?
It's the cheese one. It's good.
I never knew there was.
The triangles are the best. If you disagree with me, leave.
Oh, that bite just messed up my braces.
Did you put like top or?
Something's wrong.
Oh.
Wait, what was that? I felt something rumble, and my phone is. Oh wait, that's my phone.
Is like a bracket open or something?
Something like that. No, it's good now. We good.
See what's weird? It's like whenever people are talking about having braces, I'm like, wow, I can't really relate. That must be awful. But I know that I'm gonna need braces. And it's like, yeah, that's awful. Great. That means
So-
I'm
so
gonna
in the
get it.
future- Yeah. That's how I felt too, because my friends all got braces before I did.
Wait, you have braces?
I had them, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't even have braces yet, and I need.
Yeah.
But it's worse for Sam. He needs braces too, and he doesn't have them, and he's in college.
Sam?
Yeah.
Oh.
You should see my orthodontist. He's crazy.
No, we don't need to go into that again.
Oh yeah, you talked about
Yeah,
it.
no, my dentist called him the Picasso of orthodontics.
It's so encouraging.
I know, right?
Or maybe did your parents like really like that
Yeah.
analogy because
No.
they're artists?
Well, sort of. My
Like, you
dad,
gotta go crazy.
my dad really likes. Okay, story time. So we go into the orthodontist with my dad, and the first thing he says, he's like, to my dad, he's like, "You look tired, man." Like, never met him before. And my dad's like, "All right, yeah, you look like a bag of crap." And then like, he's just completely unfazed. He's like, "Oh yeah," just like completely, I don't know. And then they like talked for a long time, and then my dad's like, "We're using that guy for sure."
So
he was
basically,
like-
you got your orthodontist because your dad and the
Yeah.
orthodontist insulted each other.
Basically, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm from Africa, man. Nothing bothers me." And then my dad's like, "Yeah, you're running around with lions." He's like, "Yeah." He's like a weird combination of like a surfer and like a guy from Africa and like I don't know. He's a weird dude.
Was he an MK or
What?
he just lived in Africa? A missionary or military?
No, he lived in Africa for like part of his life, I know, and then he lived in like I want to say like England for part of his life. I don't know.
Does he have an English accent?
No,
That's too bad.
like I said, he
I
kind
think
of
that's
talks.
the only reason I would ever go to England is just to get the accent. To acquire.
See, I feel like we think people with English accents are smarter than they are.
But they're not.
Yeah.
I feel like
But-
when I watch English TV shows, they're like slums or something. There's
What I
different kinds of English accents.
think of
Yeah.
people's English
There's-
accents as basically they think of themselves as far too highly generally.
Yeah.
But there's
Not.
like the upper class of English accents that's super proper and like, man, I'd love to be that.
I'm English.
But then there's also the lower class of English accents that's a little bit more like weird. It's
Yeah.
like
It's more like
like,
Australian sounding kind of.
yeah, it's a little bit, a little rougher. And they just seem like,
I like that kind of English, not like the proper kind.
Yeah.
yeah, I like that English, but I also feel like it's not as distinguished. Like if someone were talking like that, it wouldn't feel condescending. It would feel
Yeah, that's.
more like gangster trying to talk to me.
English gangsters.
Yeah, English, foot English.
Yeah. Well, my mom just sent me a message saying that she's here, so I need to get going,
Oh,
which means
that concludes this episode of
the After Viva's podcast, which is, yes, I did change the name. That's the official name now.
I hate that this is real. I
Don't
know how I feel
worry.
about this.
It'll be on YouTube later today.